What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So we just had the Xbox One press conference for E3. And they basically just laid it all out for the Xbox One X. For me, all that reminds me of is like some guy's WoW username, like XX something something XX. It gets a little hard to say after a while. The Xbox One X, Xbox One. It's a name. It's a name. I was like Xbox One X, X. It's a name. It's a name. Look, it's $4.99. We kind of knew that already. It got leaked. I think it was a leak just before their press conference. So $4.99. I think it's about $100 more than the PlayStation 4 Pro, at least for me. For me, like, currency conversion wise, it's almost $700 here for that. I could do a lot with $700. But I mean, we'll get into all, like, who would buy this and stuff like that. Coming out November 7th. It was quite good how they did it. How they sort of announced it and how they didn't, like, spend too much time on it. Like, it was like, yeah, okay, here's, it was the big opening. It's like, what, this is what the Xbox One X looks like. And it's smaller. I was shocked that it was smaller. I was like, oh, okay. That was, something I wasn't expecting. And, then they start explaining, like, how it works, how, like, it's for, it's for 4K, but also if you don't have a 4K TV, it's fine. It'll make games look better anyway. I never heard them say, like, it's going to make, like, a game that's 30 FPS run at, like, a higher frame rate or anything like that. So, I'd say we're going to get more of that stuff later on. I know they have, like, settings where you can, like, turn off the, like, better graphics to get better performance or something like that. So, that's cool. More choice is always better. More choice is always better. That's what, like, option menus should have. It's just, like, settings of, like, how you like, you want your graphics, things like that. It should always be that. Also, you get Ultra HD 4K Blu-ray player with that. That's a big thing. I think that's a real big thing. I'm shocked the Pro does not have that. Like, that, for, back when the PS3 came out, that was a huge reason why the PS3 was bought, was because there was a Blu-ray player in the PS3. So I don't understand why they wouldn't put that in there. So that was cool that that it is in there. It's got a terabyte hard drive. It's got all the teraflops and stuff. I'm not a tech specialist. I don't know all that stuff. Okay? All I know is it's going to run your games better, even if you don't have a 4K TV. But does that, like, is it justified that it is, like, double the price of their, like, standard box, which is the Xbox One S at the moment? Does it justify that? Like, this is coming out around the holidays, right? November 7th. This is around when the holidays, this is around where people are going to start, buying, they're buying gifts, for Christmas or for whatever you celebrate. And there are going to be families going in, and they're going to see, like, the Switch, which is, I think, like, around $300. And then, you move up from there, and they're going to go, why would I buy something that's double the price of this one? Is it because, like, it plays better? I don't have a 4K TV. Why would I buy that? And I think that's the thing. It's not going to be for those, people. It's not going to be for those types of people, for that demographic. It's going to be for the people that only seem to play on Xbox. They're not going to buy a PC. They're not going to buy, PlayStation or anything like that. And they want their Xbox to be the best of the best. Like, they want to, to run the best. Like, I'm thinking, like, maybe, like, Halo players, guys that play, people that play FPS, things all the time, so they want that better performance, stuff like that. Just, sort of like, gamers who just, they probably can't afford to get a decent PC to do this, which, around that price range, you probably could maybe figure out one. Or, they just want this one. So, okay. It's okay. This is what, what it can do is impressive, but it should have been done 3 years ago. Like this is what I feel like is the Pro and the X is what should have been, originally launched. Like, I don't know if the technology didn't exist at the time. I don't know, but that's what it feels like to me. It's like this is like 3 years too late for me, really is. But for me, like the Xbox X was just like a little side, kind of a side thing for me because the thing with Microsoft now is that majority of their games come out on Windows Store anyway, so I don't really have to worry about having an Xbox anymore. And I can, so it was not a big deal for me, but I know it is for some. So it was good that they did it, but they didn't spend too much time on it, which is another good thing. But because they had a ton of games, and they're like 40, it was like 40 something games, 20 something were exclusives. So that's a pretty decent lineup. And a lot of them were pretty good. A lot of them we'd seen before from them. Like, it was just, they're like confirming, like, release dates and stuff like that, or like release years, majority of the time. But it was still good to see, a lot of the games that they did. Obviously, we got to see, like, what Anthem was and stuff, and we'll get into that, okay? These are no real order. Like, I'm just gonna, and they're not all the games. These are sort of like highlight ones. There were just too many to really go through all of them. Obviously there was a Forza game. There's always a Forza game, and they like showed off this car, like the new Porsche or Porsche, if that's if that's how you say it. Look, what I was thinking is like no one watching this can afford to buy that car. So why are you showing us this car? Just show us the damn game and get off the stage. Like, move on. Like, that time you're spending showing us this damn car could be spent showing more games. So it's like, yay, car, cool. Move on. So yeah. It was a Forza game. And is like trying to, make the most realistic driving game. That's cool. If you're into Forza games, you're gonna love it. They showed off, like, graphic wise. I don't know if it was the stream or what I was watching, but it didn't look all that impressive. It looked like most Forza games. I think I've seen more impressive looking Forza games, to be honest. I think Forza Horizons looked far, like the latest one looked far more spectacular than what that one did. There were like moments where I was like, it looks like a step back from what you normally do. So, I don't know. It just may have been the stream. It's just the way it came across. Then we got Metro Exodus, and I think a lot of people didn't realize what it was at the start. And around halfway when the mask on and stuff, I was like, oh man, this is Metro. It's pretty cool. I really liked the latest Metro that came out. Obviously, there's the older ones, but I liked the latest one that came out. And they showed off a whole bunch of like mutant like mole sort of people sort of things, and like they had the dogs. They had this big like mutant bear thing. It looked cool. Like, they showed off like a crossbow, the guns, like the sort of like all the strung together type, like sort of post-apocalyptic weapons, which was cool. It looks like this one's definitely going to be like maybe in a larger area, because they were, on a train that looks like they're using to like move people around. So they're trying to get people out of bad areas and stuff. It looked cool. Definitely something I'm going to be picking up. And the release date is like, I think, in 2018. So, yeah, it's still got a lot of work to do. I would probably put it around mid to late, I think. A lot of these were like either like spring or late, probably, like not even announced. So, yeah. Then there were, I think, a whole bunch of other games. Then they started talking about like some more foreign games. I think they had like PUBG and stuff like that. You guys know about PUBG, so we're not going to go into that. Dragon Ball Fighter Z. That's a bit of a mouthful. Basically a 2D fighter for Dragon Ball Z. And it looked quite good too. It looked very flashy. Yeah, Yeah, it's a fighting game. It's that 2D fighting thing. Apparently, there's a 3-on-3 clash that look very busy. Like every Dragon Ball Z like blast thing. I was like, I couldn't keep up with it. I couldn't. But it looked very cool. So if you're a big Dragon Ball Z fan, and it had like all the characters too. So yeah, that's coming. That's 2018 as well. The Darwin Project. It looked like kind of like a Pixar type thing, and then it was ended up being, it had this weird announcer guy, because it's like a battle royale type thing. And from what I could tell, like there were parts of the map that were closed, so similar to like sort of PUBG and H1Z1 where the map slowly closes in. I don't know how many players, I don't know how many things, but it looked like every player kind of had their own abilities, their own weapons, things like that. It looked cool. It looked interesting. I was actually interested in it. So I don't think we didn't get any release date on that, but it did look cool. It did look cool. So definitely one to keep an eye out for, I think. Code Vein, or Weeb Souls as everyone's been calling it. Basically what looks like sort of an anime type Dark Souls. And it looked cool. It looked very cool. Like, I like the whole big swords. And I like a bit of anime, I like a bit of anime in my story. It's not too bad. As long as it's a good story. If it's just anime garbage, then yeah, like, nah, I'll pass on that. But, if it's good, like if it's got a good solid story, and the weapons are badass, and the moves are really good, I'm all in. I'm all in. And the monsters look pretty cool too. The monsters look pretty cool. So, Weeb Souls, if you want to call it that, it looked good. And I think that's 2018 as well. State of Decay 2 looked okay. It looked okay. I'm not into zombie games. It's just does not do anything for me. It's like I got way burnt out on it when it went through the craze. I've heard State of Decay is really good though, and I don't know, the animations looked a bit janky, but they could still be in a beta type form, so they could still have time to sort of smooth it all out. It's coming in 2018. It looks like a sort of a survival sort of zombie game where you got co-op and stuff like that. Guy got ripped in half. That was like the most shocking thing. Like, he was fighting this big like kind of Hulk zombie, and he ran out of bullets, and he just picked him up, bit him in the throat, and then just ripped him in half. It was nasty. It was nasty. But yeah, so if you're into State of Decay, that's on the way. So that's 2018. Cuphead. Cuphead, I think we've all, like, a lot of people have been waiting for it. I really have. Finally got a release date on that. It's coming in at the 29th of September. I've heard it's actually quite hard. Like, there are a lot of people I know that played it at shows and stuff. It's actually quite hard in places. It's basically, a lot of boss battles and stuff like that. And, that sort of 30s and 40s sort of, cartoons stuff. It looked really cool. It looks really cool. And I've loved it. Every time I've seen it, I think it's like for the past 3 years it's been shown. It's like, we're ready for it now. Like, please. So, it's good that we're finally getting it. 29th of September. That was cool. Crackdown 3 with Terry Crews just yelling at you. I know Crackdown came before Saints Row, and I think Saints Row pretty much took away, especially like 3 and 4 really took on that sort of Crackdown mentality, sort of open world craziness and all the rest of it. It looked like that. It looked like that. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of people will immediately compare it to, like, Saints Row 4 and stuff. But you got to remember Crackdown came first. It looked okay. It looked okay. I think I'd need to see more. It just had guys running around just shooting. It never had any sort of story thing to it. It never had any, like, characters or anything. It was just Terry Crews yelling at you. Then guys using jetpacks everywhere, shooting stuff, and it had no real direction in the trailer or anything. It was just random stuff. And it wasn't even like as epic as I think like the first trailer we saw, which was like 2 years ago. when they had like buildings coming crashing down and everything. And it didn't even have that really. So, but that's coming November 7th. So a lot of these are like right around when the Xbox One X comes out. So that's pretty cool. So hopefully we see more about what Crackdown 3 is. Like a bit of explanation, like what the kind of like the characters, things like that. And then we go from there. Or else, at the moment, it just looks like a whole, like just a big sandbox that you're running around shooting things and blowing stuff up. And that's like, that can only be fun for so long. Then kind of looked like kind of a bit of an indie game, bit of a, you know, not one of the AAAs, but it was still pretty cool. The Last Night, it was kind of a futuristic-y, cyberpunk type pixel art sort of game. That's, you know, it looks like you're kind of either a thug or, you know, a cop or something. It's all in the future. It had like hover cars and stuff. It looked cool. It looked really cool. It had like lots of neon everywhere. Just one of those games that has a really cool aesthetic to it. Really cool aesthetic to it. So I'll probably keep my eye out for that. Didn't get a date on it, but looked pretty cool. Probably the cutest, like one of the cutest games that we saw there was Super Lucky's Tale. Apparently it was a game beforehand, Lucky's Tale. So maybe a sort of a new version, new game of it. It's a platformer. It's like kind of like an old school sort of platformer. You know, coins everywhere, jump along, solve problems. Like all the inhabitants of this world look ultra cute. Like they're just too cute. And his little fox runs around, smashes things with his tail. It's something like that. It's kind of like Ratchet and Clank, things like that. It has a you know, if you're into that sort of art style, it's a very cutesy little game. So yeah. Sea of Thieves, which I think a lot of people are very interested in seeing more gameplay of that. Less of the whole like fake like content creator type thing. I don't know if those guys actually were content creators, but like at least this was just, you know, a funny narrator, you know, following 4 players as they went around and did some treasure hunting and stuff like that. It was cool. It was really cool. You know, they went treasure hunting. They fight skeletons. You know, they're sailing the ship. You can shoot yourself out of cannons. It's a lot. It's a lot of cool things to do. We still don't know the specifics. Like, you know, how many can you have on a crew? How many are on the server as you know that you're fighting on? Like, how many crews are actually there? Is it like you and a couple of crews? Is it you and 100 people? You know, you just don't know. Like, how big's the world? This is all, you know, things that we don't know yet. Because you know, guarantee it, right? You know, the first thing that people are going to do, jump on a boat, sail one way and see how far the world goes and what's on the end of the world, right? That's what people are going to do. But yeah, so like they had like underwater like shipwrecks. We can go in and get treasure. Yeah, it had a lot of stuff like that. So 2018 we got like a roundabout date for it. I think a lot of people are excited for it though. Everyone wants to be pirates. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, just some more details would be nice. Like, you know, so people can kind of understand like how the game's going to be. Like, we know how the game plays, but what's the experience going to be with how many people can I bring along, sort of thing. But I still think it's going to be a pretty big game on Twitch. I really do. Life is Strange prequel. I think it's like Before the Storm. Basically, you're going to play Chloe. Those who don't know, it's one of the characters in the first Life is Strange. And you play her before everything happens in the first Life is Strange. So, you know, how she turns out to be her. She was the girl with the blue hair. So you play her. I think I watched a playthrough of Life is Strange. I never actually played it myself. Very like teen angst. Very much that. If you're not into that stuff, you probably won't like it. But I mean, I enjoyed the playthrough I watched of it. I think also the people I watched play it probably helped me through that. So I might just wait till they play it, I think, because they're really excited for it. So, but I mean, if you were a big fan of Life is Strange, the first one, I would think a lot of people would probably be excited for it. So, then probably like the most sort of heart-wrenching moment of the entire Xbox thing was Ori and the Wisp, the what is it? The Will of the Wisps, the little owl, and then Ori comes up. It's like his family's all dead, and they had the guy playing the piano, and the music was beautiful, and that Ori like art style, which is just so beautiful, and the creatures and the detail, it's just overwhelming. It's just so good, and it was like. It's just like the little owl. Just please, you're okay. It was one of those like oh, the feels sort of things. It looked beautiful. It really did. It looked beautiful. I played the first one. The first one was really good. I enjoyed it, so I'll probably pick this one up too. No date on it though, so this will probably be like next year. But yeah, it looked pretty cool. It looked very cool. Then another one that was kind of weird, but had a really cool art style as well. It had like no faces and stuff. Called Ashen, and I couldn't tell what exactly it was. Like if it was kind of a Dark Soulsy type one or a co-op type one. But they were versing like the sort of big sort of like sort of Ronin looking monster. Had like lots of shadow monsters and like big spiders and stuff. Very sort of doll-like sort of characters, like that sort of way. And they were talking about light and darkness and stuff like that. It looks really cool. It looks very cool. So Ashen, something to look out for, I think. Like I definitely want to see more of it, like the actual gameplay. Like I don't know if I think it was gameplay, but you never got anything in context. Like you didn't know exactly what was happening, you know? Like I don't know if it was like a Dark Soulsy type game or what, but it looked cool. It looked very cool. So definitely one to keep an eye out for. And then I think the thing that everyone was waiting for, like especially after EA yesterday, like when they basically just skipped over it and it was like, oh yeah, we got this new IP and then we're on to NBA. We finally got to know what it is and stuff. So Anthem, from what I can tell, there is definitely a sort of like BioWare RPG element to it. Like you go around, like they had this scene where you're walking through this market and this guy with a very sort of like mo-capped face, very good, like, mocap. It looked very good. The graphics look fantastic on it. And, they're talking about like, you're a freelancer and you're the only ones who can go outside the wall and live because everything's like gone to shit outside and like these monsters and like robot things out there. And, you had to go and you get this quest and you got to go save these guys that went out because they think they can do it, but they couldn't. And you get in these suits called javelins, and that's the mech suit. And apparently you can get all different versions of these javelins. Like there's a whole bunch of different ones. So like there's like a tank type. I think there was another one that looked like a sort of a magic range type. The one that they showed us was very like a kind of the universal one. I think the first one you're gonna get that sort of kind of the basic one. And you can straight up fly in this game. You can straight up fly. I was like, oh, yes. But it is also something where you can squad up with people. So you can squad up. I think you can go off and do like a type of dungeon type thing. From what I can tell, it was like a Destiny Titanfall type thing. Like you were in these mechs, but you were doing like Destiny type things. You're doing PvE stuff. I would imagine that they could potentially have a PvP side to it as well. It was a looter shooter as well. You're getting like legendary guns and stuff. So that's where the Destiny stuff comes in. Like this guy goes, the girl goes to the guy that was co-op with her. Like he walked in with this big tank type javelin. and he had like, she's like, "Oh, you got a mortar?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I got it the other day." Like it was that cheesy like party chat, team chat type thing, but it proved a point. And like yeah, he got like different you can get these different equipment to suit up your javelin and stuff so you can play the way you want to play. It looked really good. Really good. We got no like story stuff. Like what's actually this game? Like is it, Destiny like? Is it, more BioWare? You like to think with BioWare that it's going to have a good story and good characters. That's what they tend to do. It's what they're famous for. So, it's not what Destiny's famous for. It's not. It's not. It's, BioWare needs to do what BioWare does. So I like to think they will. But it looked fantastic. It really did. Like, I was like, oh my god, like, I really want to play this game right now. It looks really good. Like, just to have, like, mech suits and stuff. Because it kind of reminded me of, like, the power suits in Fallout 4. Like, it reminded me of those, like, because when I did Fallout 4, like, I had, like, a whole room full of just these power suits that I collected. I can just imagine that. Like, all these power suits that I have and stuff. That's what that sort of feeling I got from it. And yeah, like it's like a shoot, sort of I think a third-person shooter. Go around, shoot all these things. And then you could they got into a party of 4. You could just drop in. Like these people just dropped into where they were, so you immediately go to where your team is. It looked cool, and I was like, XP based, so maybe you get like you level up, you get like stats, stuff like that. So it's got this RPG element to it. Sort of I don't know if it's an MMO. Like even a smaller one. Like I think it's that. Like maybe it's like a co-op type thing. I really want to play it. I was worried it's going to get trapped on the Xbox, but it looks like it's going to be a cross-platform thing. I think just Microsoft got a hold of it to show it off, so probably something to go at Destiny for. But yeah, so Anthem, I'm super excited for. I really am. I definitely want to know more about it, though. Like, I'm not completely sold. Like, I'm excited, but I'm not completely sold, and I really want to know more of what's actually in this game. So, hopefully. And I'm pretty sure that's 2018. So, we got a little ways to go before we actually get it. Probably will come out right when we get tired of Destiny 2, I'd say. But, yeah. So, it looked good. But, yeah, this overall, like, I really didn't mind the Microsoft press conference. I think it had a good pace. It was game to game to game to game. They had a few little announcements here and there. There wasn't anything too bad, too cringy. They didn't focus like a lot of time on the Xbox One X. They just they announced it, they showed what it could do. Then they showed a bunch of games. Then they had another little announcement where they showed the price and when it's shipping, and moved on. It was a good pace. It was a decent length. And it had actual games that were, constructive, and it was good. So, good on them. Good on to Microsoft. You did a good job. But yeah. Alright guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching. If you like, do hit the subscribe button, hit the likes, comments, all this stuff. You know what to do on YouTube. Also, check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheAverageKiwiGuy. Go hit that follow button, you know when we go live. And also check us out on like Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Average Kiwi Guy there. Yeah. Alright guys, have a good one. I'll catch you later. Peace.